Hey, what's up, everybody? BDF44 coming at you with another video. All right, so Luka Doncic strained his calf tonight in the game against the Portland Trailblazers, third quarter. I didn't see the highlights myself, but I think there's a lot to take away from this. First of all, the NBA is kind of who I look at in this situation for two things. Now, one, they rescinded a technical foul that he was given that would have made it so that he was disqualified for this game, giving him his 16th technical foul on the season. They rescinded it. I don't know the nature of that technical foul, so I don't want to assume, but that's a bit of information that we can keep with us as we continue to talk. All right. So, the other aspect of the situation when I look at the NBA is the fact that they have this play-in tournament situation going on to begin with, and all of these different implications going on near the end of the season that would make it more so incentivized for these teams to play. And it is encouraging teams to play guys in otherwise situations where they may not play down the stretch of the season. You know, this is a game where you could argue probably would have been in Dallas's best interest to rest Luka Doncic, but because they had playoff implications down to the very last wire, the last game rather, they just played him. Now I know they're not a play-in tournament team, so that's the argument is kind of skewed, but it does stand to reason where you put these type of things at risk. Now you're playing extra basketball games. Now you're essentially saying, yo, we're gonna put some game in between, you know, the playoffs and the regular season, which means that there's a chance of an injury taking place between the regular season and the playoffs too. Like you always run the risk of players getting hurt before you actually get them to that shining moment when you do this. You know what I mean? It's a dynamic that wasn't there in the past now. So games are more incentivized down to the stretch, and down the stretch of the season, and you're not seeing players get as much rest. Even if it wasn't say this game that you want to rest them in, they probably didn't rest him in several games leading up to this game, because of these playoff implications, because of the competitive nature of all these games that would otherwise we just throw away games in normal seasons. So I like to play in tournament, but it does create a different dynamic that does create new injury concerns. So here we are. Uh, you know, maybe you look at it as just part of the how part of it, but I look at it and say, there stands to reason why some would look at the NBA and say, you guys are greedy, and it backfired on you. You wanted your superstar Luka Doncic player out there in this game for the last game of the season against a Portland team that's not doesn't even have the best of their replacement players out there, and it's one of those things where you gotta wonder, is that the right move for the NBA as a whole on high to really have Luka on the floor in this situation. You look even further in, obviously, at the owners. You got to look at Mark Cuban and say, man, was this the right decision? Now, you know how important this player is to your playoff hopes. Your team is playing better. You made this trade, it got better, and now he's got this hamstring. He could have injured this hamstring at any time going forward in the playoffs too. But the point is, now it's at risk for not being available for the playoffs. So this is a bad thing. This is a bad thing. Obviously, he's going to get treatment for it. Playoffs don't start for a little while, so hopefully it's not anything serious. And he should be able to be 100% by the start of the playoffs. But it's just the point. He did get hurt in a final game where otherwise he shouldn't even been playing, man. He shouldn't have been out there. So I look at the league first. I look at the owners second, and it just trickles on down the coaching staff and the player, of course. You just got to make good decisions with your health. The fact of the matter is, you're trying to control seeding. You're not playing for your lives. So in that situation, maybe you don't want to play this team. Maybe you're trying to control your path. But what good is trying to control your path if your best player ends up getting hurt in the process of that? Now you don't have you're giving your opponent a free ride, regardless who you play. If Luka ain't out there, you ain't beating who? Is it Utah? I think you guys play. I think it's Utah. You ain't beating Donovan Mitchell. You ain't beating Donovan Mitchell without Luka Doncic. That's not happening. So it's gonna be very interesting. See how he recovers. You know, I'll keep an eye on that. But yeah, it looks like greed. That's what it looks like to me. It looks like good old fashioned greed, and they overplayed the hand this time. You should have arrested Luka. Just have him ready for these playoffs. So that's what I gotta say, man. My name is BDL44. Thank y'all for watching. I'm out.